3 people can keep a secret if you kill 2.
Whose quotes are these?
Fortune cookies.
It's time for Rat Salad Review!
All right.
Well, there's your answer, Fishbowl. Welcome to Rat Salad Review.
Yeah, I'll let you start the show off this time.
I just did.
You did. And Nate, we have 2 albums from you. We let you pick stuff this week. Actually, let me start this kind of over a little bit. We're going to do a little something different here because Nate has his 2 albums that he picked, and we kind of do this show as like an album versus album. It's a completely different show. But I also wanted to do the new Mr. Bungle. And seeing what Nate picked was thrash metal, and the new Mr. Bungle is basically thrash metal. They all kind of fit in together. So I said, let's just combine these 3 albums together and put them on one show. And since we're on the HAMIN Media Group, YouTube channel, it'd be kind of cool to introduce some new audience to what we do on our other show, Album versus Album. And people that don't get to see that on the HAMIN Media Group can subscribe to our regular YouTube channel, the Rat Salad Review YouTube channel, and see our other album versus album shows. And yeah, so we're going to kind of combine that show with our regular show, and this is it.
Far out.
Did I explain that good enough? Or is that very confusing? All right, good. All right, so what'd you pick, Nate?
I faded in and out.
Well,
I think I fell asleep while I was saying it.
I picked 2 modern Canadian thrash albums. Weapons of Thrash Destruction by Terrifier and Misleading Evil by Hazzard. Both of which I would regard as modern classics.
Modern classics.
Yeah.
All right, well, first of all, it's the first time I've ever heard of either one of these bands. And every time you suggest a band, I'm afraid to listen. But you do come up with good picks every once in a while, and you did come up with some good picks this week. I
would be shocked if either of you didn't like these albums.
Yeah, no, they're very good. Hazzard is really cool. Doing a little research, like you said, they're from Canada. I didn't know that. It reminded me a lot. And we talked about this before, a lot of Megadeth, Rust in Peace.
Yep, this is what the album that I wish Rust in Peace sounded like. It's like if Jeff Waters was on Rust in Peace. Yeah. I fucking love it. It's insane. The guitar work on this album is fucking just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, what made me really think of it is the second song really has a Megadeth kind of feel.
Oh, yeah.
And it instantly sounded like Rust in Peace. And obviously the guy's vocals don't sound anything like Dave Mustaine.
Oh no, but that's an improvement.
Yeah. Yes.
I disagree. I'd rather hear Dave sing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this guy, I don't know, what is his name? Do you know his name, Nate?
I don't know his name.
Hang on.
Anybody in these bands?
Dylan Westendorp. Wow. Chess Club.
All right, I won't ask him.
No offense. I like the record. So.
No, I think he'd be way better. I think he's way better just of a singer than Dave Mustaine. But like the 3 albums,
that sounds like a Simpsons character, though. Westendorp. Like, I'm sorry, but I was not expecting that.
If you watch us, come on the show. We'd love to interview you. But fuck, man, I think he's a damn good singer. And honestly, the 3 albums this reminds me the most of are Rust in Peace, Alice in Hell, and then For Whose Advantage by Zentrix.
I never heard that one, but I will agree.
Yeah, it made me think the most of the Zentrix.
Yeah, or like Atrophy, where it's got those 2-steppy riffs like that. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. His vocals are really good. I mean, that's what really stuck out to me a lot is his vocals. Because they're not like a typical, screaming kind of thrash thing. He also has like an operatic style to his voice, and he does the screaming stuff that I like, in most of my thrash bands. But Yeah, it really stuck out to me, and yeah, everything's good on this album. There's not one song I did not like. I really like the instrumental a lot too. A lot of cool lead stuff in there. And
I'm not usually big on thrash instrumentals, but this one's awesome. Especially the solos. The solos are incredible on this album.
Yeah, they were. And when's the last time we really heard an instrumental? I mean, not too many bands do instrumentals anymore. I mean, maybe one or two here and there, but I was surprised to hear an instrumental on this album, and it's cool. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, I have tons of great things to say about this album. I mean, it's got everything you would want in a thrash album, essentially.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've got all these different kinds of technical riffs, but they're not trying to be technical, which is what I really like about it.
Right.
Nice, really rolly kind of Megadeth-y scale kind of riffs. I love those.
Yeah.
And the drumming is excellent on this album. That's really how I wish Nick Menza would have drummed. The drumming is great. Everything's fucking tight on this album.
Yeah, a lot of all the songs are fairly catchy too. I think as well.
Right.
Everything's very memorable on this album.
Yeah, I've got riffs like stuck in my head from this album. It's fucking insane.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you feel, Greg? Because I was talking to you earlier about this.
It's okay. I mean, I like it. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's a good thrash record. I enjoyed it. I like this one the better out of the two, though, because I think it's a lot more memorable. But the guitars are definitely the highlights of both. Although, definitely Zentrix and Megadeth. But the other thing this made me think of a little bit, Nate, was Handle with Care by Nuclear Assault.
A little
kind
bit
of give
with the
off
bass,
that
yeah.
vibe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, the instrumental is my favorite track. I do like the singer, don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying he was bad. I just like Dave better because the attitude, man. But no, you don't really hear many thrash instrumentals, and that's really good and really catchy.
Yeah. I was browsing through their Facebook page, and on the information section it says, we have been likened to Megadeth, Overkill, Testament, Heathen, and Havoc.
Overkill. That was another band I thought they sounded like.
Yeah,
especially with the straight up, just more crunch, just normal chuggy riffs. Those sounded very Overkill.
Yeah, Execution of the Damned and Road to Nowhere are probably my other two favorites after Misleading Evil.
They have a disclaimer. We are not liable for any melted faces, battered bodies, damaged items, or whiplash that may ensue from cranking our tunes.
I was actually surprised it was their debut album for how well written it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is put together really, really well.
Yeah, I'd like to hear if they had any demos, or is this like the first thing they ever put out?
Well, they have. Yeah, they had a demo out before this called "Victimize the Innocent" from 2014, and they just put out an album this year called "Delirium" that I haven't heard.
I saw that. Because I was actually going to go and buy this album, then I found out that it isn't, the first album, and they don't. I guess they're sold out of them because on their Bandcamp they're completely gone. They're all sold out, and the only album that's available is the new one, which I'm going to get anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to find another.
My fucking lucky piece of shit drummer got a copy of this in the Metalhead box because he's subscribed.
Oh,
to that.
nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was jealous as hell because this is a way to get free.
Yeah. Of course it is. So everybody go check out that album. Now we're going to go to... You are so rude.
Terrifier's Weapons of Thrash Destruction. Despite having a really fucking corny name, they have a great album cover and this is just a great album too.
Yeah, the album cover is cool. What I don't like is the way they do the logo of their band name.
I like it.
It's just too pointy.
I don't know.
But it's cool. The album cover is cool.
From like 5 seconds into the first song, this album is really fucking good.
It is.
That opening with the scream like that reminds me so much of fucking Razor, and I love it. This is like combining Razor and Destruction and like Demolition Hammer. This is fucking brutal stuff.
I see. I got a little bit of a old school Testament vibe. Not
That
like
too.
As soon as they came on, but the only thing I really didn't care for was the production was a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little modern-y.
It's a little muffled.
Yeah, it's a little muffled, and you know, on this one, a couple of the songs are kind of samey, and the production doesn't help that. It almost makes them run into each other a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I did notice.
They've also put out another album since this.
Which is, incidentally, a problem I've also had with a couple Destruction albums in the past. So maybe that's why it reminds me the most of them.
Maybe. But they have put out another album since since this album came out. That's actually also really good. I'd also recommend that. But I mean, I discovered both these albums around the same time, and this is the first one I got. And from the moment that first song started, I was fucking hooked. The vocals on this album are insane. That guy can scream like a motherfucker.
Yeah, they're more typical thrash vocals than opposed to the other band.
Right. And the drumming on this is great. The guitar work on it is great. There isn't an ounce of bad musicianship here or bad riff writing. I mean, a couple of the songs are samier, but the stuff that sticks out is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's another album that's good. I just wish the production was just a little bit better. Wasn't so muffled. Otherwise, yeah, like you said, the vocals are cool. The musicianship is great on it. You know, everybody can play their shit, and they do it well. You know?
Yeah.
They're a really good thrash band.
Yeah, it's just really solid thrash. It's hard to hear a lot of like really solid modern thrash bands that don't have a clear direction they're going. And I like that these two bands have a lot of stuff, even though they have a clear idea of what they're doing more, they still have a lot of other stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how like thrash is really starting to be it's starting to get like back into like not mainstream, but you know, because for a while it kind of like disappeared, and now it's it's coming back again. You know, which is kind of strange, but
it's really awesome. I fucking love it.
Yeah,
it makes my life much
I
easier.
just wish people were more creative with it. That's all.
Oh,
I wish some bands
Voivod and Guar have done everything. It's how much can you do from here on out?
Can still make it a higher caliber of interesting. Just try something.
Yeah, I'm not saying be like fueled by fire or anything, but I mean, that all said, I still like Fueled by Fire, but yeah, they're not the most creative.
No.
There's better and worse bands of this.
Well, I mean, both of these beat the shit out of Warbringer, and
Really?
You think so?
When he says Warbringer, I think exclusively the last two albums, and I'd say Terrifier is very on par with the last two Warbringer albums, but I would not say is better. But yeah, Warbringer up until the first album, I'd say
Yeah, first record is awful. But anyway, this isn't about Warbringer.
Making that distinction.
I like the guitar work on Terrifier better.
Really?
It's got more of that Teutonic feel to it. Like, he does a lot of runs during the solos that remind me of something a Coroner would do a little bit. It's just interesting. I dig that. I mean, they don't really get progressive like it, like Hazzard does on some of their songs. They're really not going for a fusion type thing. But I think that works well for them.
Oh, yeah, because they're more just balls to the wall and up front.
And out of the two records, Nuclear Demolisher is probably my favorite song of the two. Either that or Bestial Tyranny. It's pretty badass.
Of which band? What?
Terrifier.
What? It's Terrifier? That's not the name of the album.
He listened to the wrong album.
No, Bestial Tyranny's track 7.
It's 7.
Oh, you're talking about the tracks. I thought you meant album.
No.
I thought you were talking albums. I'm like, what the fuck?
No,
yeah.
I said songs out of the two albums.
I had to look back at the track list. It takes me forever to learn song names. But yeah, those songs are great. But my favorite's probably going to be Reanimator. Just that's a fucking awesome opening track.
It's funny you say you can't remember song names. Back in the day, when I used to have cassettes and everything, and we used to listen to the albums and look through the booklets and all that shit, I remember everything. I remember the date albums were out. I remember every fucking song, who played on the albums, everything. Nowadays, nothing.
I listen to things by the album, but I'm listening to the music. I'm not looking through the booklets and shit.
I know, but
I don't have album booklets most of the time. My CDs are in the car. When I'm inside, it's mostly in digital until I get a vinyl player in here, like a record player, you know.
Yeah, and like I listened to both of these when I was cleaning the house, for example. So, although I know what the singers sound like, I didn't really hear much of the lyrics.
It's all right.
So I was more focused on the guitar and the drums.
Right. That's what I always focus on too. That's the most important part.
the lyrics aren't a big deal for you guys.
Not really. You've read
Well,
my lyrics.
it depends.
Yeah, but they make sense. Depends what depends about it. Like if they're like, I don't know, like thought-provoking lyrics.
I don't know. I love Tankard, so.
No, I
So-
mean, like, the fucking mentors are great. I love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it fits them. You know, if random people just did that, it wouldn't be funny or all that.
Right.
great.
Oh, you have to be good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course, of course.
That's why I love Belushi Speedball.
Yeah. But,
Alright. So what are we giving Hazzard?
I'm giving Hazzard, honestly, 9.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you with a 9.5. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really cool. I actually reason why I say that because I'm actually going to buy the CDs.
That's awesome.
See if I like them.
Terrifier sells
Much.
this album for $6.66 Canadian.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
They have a really good fucking shirt for it, too. Like, I've seen the shirts. They're printed really well. They got the back print with the album name on
They
it.
look like they had the same person do the artwork.
Yeah,
Is it the same person probably?
I think so. Makes
Right.
sense.
It's like
That
that
does look
typical
similar.
what the hell's that artist's name? I can't think of his name.
You're thinking of Ed Repka.
Yeah, Ed Repka.
Yeah. Is that his artwork?
It's
I
I think it's
Similar.
an imitation.
think so.
It's similar. But it's cool looking.
I don't know, 90% of thrash fans try to copy Ed Repka because Ed Repka's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hazzard album covers also look like Ed Repka album covers.
That's what I'm saying. They look the same. They're very similar to each
Right. It's
Yeah, no,
good
this
thrash
was
art.
drawn by some Russian guy.
Well, just the whole toxic kind of aesthetic has kind of taken this newer way of thing, and I like that because
Yeah.
it's very punk.
other.
So
All right.
I kind of dig that.
Greg,
also-
what do you give? Yeah,
8.5.
8.5. Oh, that's not bad. And Terrorizer.
I am giving Terrifier
Oh,
a
Terrifier.
9. Yeah,
I want
Terrorizer's a different great band.
Another different band.
But no,
Give it-
Terrifier I'm giving a 9.
9. I'm gonna go 8 on them.
Okay.
Only because of production. If the production was a little bit clearer, it would be better. But the music is there. Everything's cool.
I don't know. Every time when I rate an album, I rate it as if I would be seeing the band play this live, not really based on production, unless the production's like exceptionally awful.
I rarely ever go to shows.
Yeah, that's
So-
fucking lame.
I don't like people, Nate. Don't you understand
Neither
that?
do I. That's why I go to shows. There's more people that are like me.
No, I stay away from those people. Plus, I have to edit these shows, so who else is going to do that?
Right.
I'm
Once
busy.
I play out there, you better fucking come.
Oh no, I will.
Okay.
Oh, if you come out here, yeah, of course.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Greg.
Yes. Oh, 8.
8. All right. So
They're pretty good. They're pretty even, but just Hazzard's a little
Yeah.
bit more memorable. And that production hurts that Terrifier.
yeah, that's the only one thing. But yeah, both really good bands. Hazzard just winning out by like a little bit, but go check out Hazzard, facebook.com/Hazzard Thrash. And go buy their stuff. And what is the other band? Terrifier is facebook.com/Terrifier Thrashers. So go
Shouldn't be
check.
too hard to remember.
No. Well, you know what it is? Terrifier is kind of hard to find if you spelled it the wrong way. It's Terrrifier. Terrri.
Yeah, so it's spelled correctly.
Is it? I always spell
Yeah.
it wrong.
Terrifier. That's
I
how
was
you
spelling
spell the word Terrifier.
Well, there's no. I was spelling it Tirriff.
Oh. Yeah, so if you spell it
That would be
Terrifier.
Tire Fire.
Well, no.
Terrifier.
Well, I'm trying to spell it. I'm talking to you guys, but when I spelt it, that clown came up from that movie, Terrifier.
That's terror. Yeah,
It's yeah.
That's a good movie.
You
I like that
spelled
movie.
it Tire though.
No, I
That
spelled
would
it
be
T-E.
Tire- Yeah.
No, I said
heard.
T-E.
I heard
E.
what you said.
No, I said T-E-R.
Mhm.
I did. It's
Dude,
right
if
here,
I
T-E-R.
started
Or
a
then I read it
sludge
wrong.
band, Firefire would be an awesome name.
It would be. So thank me for that when you start that band and make millions of dollars.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
you
make,
sure you don't wanna
I'll
go
go make
back and
millions
check
of
if
dollars
you
with a
really
band that
fucking
sounds
said it
like
or not?
Crowbar.
I did. I'll rewind the tape.
My plan is if I get too fat to be a thrash singer, I'm going to start a sludge band.
There's a lot of fat thrash singers, though. You could do
Yeah, but it's like it looks weird.
that.
It's like if I get fat and I lose my hair, I don't want to be a thrash singer. Like Rob Dukes looks like he should sing in a sludge band. I love Rob Dukes, but he looks like a member of Crowbar.
He does.
Fair
Just
enough.
don't grow the goatee. You know, people usually shave their head and then grow a goatee.
Ugh. Yeah, no, I'm not pulling a Kerry King.
No.
Wears sunglasses everywhere, you know.
That's all. That whole thing
I'm
started
about
like
as good on
Stone Cold
guitar.
Steve Austin. What?
I'm about as good on guitar.
a lot of people are. Oh God.
All right. Speaking
all right.
of good guitar players from the
Speaking-
Big Four,
Exactly. And
Mr. Bungle and of
continuing-
Slayer.
yes, continuing with our thrash theme for today's show, Mr. Bungle. I've been waiting to listen to this album forever
Yeah, me too.
because when I saw them reunite and do that concert, I was like, "Holy shit, they're back!" And then finding out that freaking Scott Ian and Dave Lombardo both in the band, like, what the hell's that all about? And then I was looking that up because I didn't know how they got into the band, and it was basically just I forgot who it was. It might have been Trey Spruance or whatever his name is.
Dave Lombardo plays in Dead Cross.
Yeah, but Trey went to go watch one of their shows or something, and then they were talking, and he just asked Dave Lombardo if he wanted to do the drums, and he was just like, yeah. And then
Dave's kind of taken on a Gene Hoglan sort of thing where he plays in every band.
yeah, pretty much, which is fine.
I'm
And then,
completely fine with that.
Yeah, and then Mike Patton knows Scott Ian, and he happened to ask Scott, and Scott asked him. Scott thought he was inviting them. Scott thought that Mike Patton invited him to come see the Mr. Bungle concert. So he's like, yeah, sure. But he's like, no, come do the album. So, he did the album. And I was watching an interview with him earlier. I sent it to you guys before, a really weird interview. But it's terrible. What was I saying now? That I just lost my thought.
Nice job, old man.
I know, right? This sucks.
Well, you think of that. I'm going to tell how I found out about this album.
Go ahead. Let me tell you.
Because, well, I know Mr. Bungle because I know they're a System of a Down influence. And System of a Down's one of the bands that kind of got me into metal. And I still like them. But I in general, like those weird kind of thrashy bands.
Yeah.
So I've listened to a little bit of Mr. Bungle before. I listened to way more Dead Cross and Faith No More. But as soon as I saw that like Dave Lombardo and Scott Ian were collaborating on something, I'm like, oh, this is gonna kick ass.
Yeah.
And here we are. This is a pretty damn good album, despite it being a re-record.
So you listened to the other Faith No More albums?
I've listened to some of them, not all of them.
Oh my god! See, I go way back.
I mean, I listened to all the stuff before Mike Patton, and then like the first 3-4 Mike Patton albums.
Because Mike Patton's been the only vocalist for the band.
For Faith No More. Before.
Oh,
No.
oh, are you talking about Mr. Bungle or Faith No More?
No, I was talking about Faith No
You're
More.
clearly
Oh,
talking about Faith No More.
I'm
yeah.
still trying to think what I was talking about with Scott Ian. Let's start this whole show over.
Shut up.
Anyway,
Sure, it's
yeah,
not, old man.
no, I found out about Faith No. Oh my god, I'm shot. Mr. Bungle, when Mike Patton did Faith No More, and then the fucking Epic came out or whatever, and I've been a huge fan ever since. But over the years, when you finally online, you can go online and go on YouTube or whatever, and find out all these albums that you've never heard of before. And this album did come across on like what was that thing, Napster or whatever you used to download songs off of. And I downloaded it, and I'm like, this is total garbage. You know? Did you ever hear the original demo of this album?
Yes.
It doesn't even you can't even hear it. It's just garbled
Sounds
mess.
like shit. Yeah.
It
I
does.
think I've heard some of it. It sounds like a Venom demo.
Yeah, it's totally bad. So I listened to like a few songs of it, and I kind of just forgot about it, And actually, this reminds me now of what I was going to talk about with Scott Ian. Scott Ian used to listen to Mr. Bungle before anybody even really knew who Mr. Bungle was.
Mm-hmm.
So when he found out that they were asking him to join the band, he was just like, yes, right away. And he was like, they're going to re-record the demo. So he was like, I already know the demo. And they were very surprised that he knew about it because, nobody knows who Mr. Bungle was back then. So that was kind of cool, So I guess that's how they kind of fit in. But anyway, it's a very cool album. Obviously, it sounds a hell of a lot better than the demo version.
Well, yeah,
because you can hear everything that's going on in this version. And only one thing that bothers me is it sounds like Anthrax.
Yep.
Really?
It sounds like a new Anthrax album with Mike Patton.
It sounds like Scotty Ian with
right.
Like that.
See, I didn't think of it like that. I mean, yes, his guitar sound is essentially the same, but this made me more think of, especially sound-wise, a Possessed record if Frank Zappa played it with the Mothers.
What?
Made as much sense as I.
What the fuck?
Made as much sense as I made about 5 minutes ago.
Sounds like Frank Zappa wrote a Possessed record.
What the fuck?
It's got that fucking little bit of that Bay Area early death metal fucking thrash and grunge grime to it, especially the distortion level on the guitar and
But
the way
Frank
he does his
Zappa.
vocals. Because of how fucking odd all the parts of the songs they write and the fucking it's Mr. Bungle, man.
Prong are similar to that, and I wouldn't call them Frank Zappa.
Well, I can kind of understand what he's saying. What was that song? Speak Spanish or Die. They start singing La Cucaracha in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
that seems like something SOD would do.
I'm talking about the different parts of the song and the different crazy shit like Dave does on the drums on something like Mathematics or Raping Your Mind.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know.
Whatever.
You're a huge fan of Zappa, so you would know more of that than I do.
I know Zappa, but I don't know Zappa like you.
Yeah,
so
they do a lot of wacky composition shit that's in the fusion department that wouldn't be uncommon in one of his bands.
Yeah. I get it.
Maybe there's a better metal example that we're not on right now, but
I wouldn't know. I don't listen to too many crazy bands like this. But the other thing was they re-recorded the whole album obviously, but they left out one song. Evil Satan was left out, and then also the song Hypocrites. They cut it in half and then
added the SOD
it
on.
Yeah.
I like the SOD cover, so.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And I went back to listen to what Evil Satan sounded like, and I could not see them doing it on this because there was a lot of trumpets and shit going on. So I think it would be kind of weird. I don't know if it really would.
It wouldn't have fit in with the vibe of the rest of it.
No, I don't think so. So maybe next album.
They changed Grizzly Adams a bit to more fit the sound of this too.
Oh, and the little narration thing in the beginning of the album?
Yeah, it's Reed Perlman.
Well, thanks, you just spoiled that. All right, good night, everybody.
Anarchy of Uranus, the second song, not the first song.
Go buy the album. We'll see you next week.
I give it a 9. Fuck you.
But yeah,
I give it like an 8.
Give it an 8. Yeah, I'll give it an 8 too. No, I'm gonna give it a 10. I really like this album. I think it's really cool.
Really?
Although,
you think it was that good?
I think it's good.
I can't give it a 10 because sometimes they go on a little too long with the fucking grooves. Like, you could you could cut this album's length by about 10 minutes, and it would just strengthen its impact, I think.
Honestly, it's nothing I haven't heard off the first Excel album.
I never heard that one.
That's not a bad example. It's just been a long time since I've heard.
Yeah, or like
album.
a little bit off the second Excel album too, because that's kind of a weird, groovy album. I don't like that album nearly as much, but
I was gonna say that one. Forget about it. The first one I remember parts of, but
the second one, the cover of fucking "Message in a Bottle" is actually awesome. That's a decent cover, and then "Given Question's" a good song, and then you can scrap the rest of the album.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. We're talking about Mr. Bungle,
Yeah.
but if you're looking for songs like Retro Vertigo or Travolta or what say After School Special or Squeeze Me Macaroni, it's not on here.
No.
None of that stuff is on here. This is pure thrash. And
But
you're
if
not
you want
gonna
to squeeze my macaroni, I live at... No, I'm kidding.
do you really? Tell
No,
us your address. We'll send
I'm
you.
I'm not doxing myself online.
We'll send you boxes of macaroni.
Really, you don't want to spread the thighs of death.
Spread your mom's thighs of death.
But
Hey,
if
don't talk about each other's mothers.
no, don't. We've already had a
You
show.
already did that with
Network.
Wayne.
We have no. There was another show on our network that had a problem, and one of the guys got fired, and we don't want that to happen here too.
Oh, okay. Well, if
But
there's
that
a
show's
precedent,
still
yeah. I
Yeah.
just remember we did that once with you, Wayne, and there was
Oh,
no
well.
issue. So
there. No, I don't give a shit about anything. You should know
no,
that.
it's fine.
But yeah, if you love Anthrax, go buy this album because this is basically a new Anthrax album with Dave Lombardo on drums and Mike Patton on vocals.
Yep.
But I mean, honestly, that's what it sounds like. But it's Mr. Bungle, and you know most of the people from Mr. Bungle,
really?
Mike Patton, Trey Spruance, and Trevor Dunn is on here, so it's Mr. Bungle.
It's just a decent weird
And if you
crossover album.
like Possessed Beyond the Gates, you'd like this too.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd just compare it more to Excel than Possessed.
Well,
That's-
you know, Excel never really struck me as one of the best bands in the world. So it's
Actually,
probably been
when-
15 years since I've heard that record.
If you give
Possessed
Split
I
Image,
listened to last week.
okay. I
When
don't
did
even
that?
listen to Beyond the Gates that much. I listen to Seven Churches and Eyes of Horror way more.
Since this is
I
a
like all three
re-recording,
of them.
since this is a re-recording of one of their demos, when did those two albums come out that you guys are mentioning?
Beyond the Gates was 86. Seven Churches was 85.
All right. Well, I should have did a little bit more research to find out when the Mr.
80.
Bungle one is. I think it was 88 or something, right?
86.
Oh, so they were around the same time. So
Yeah.
interesting.
That's why I think it's got a lot of that crossover edge to it. It's right around that time period.
Right, it's right around when like DRI's crossover came out,
Yep.
like Suicidal Tendencies was getting more metal, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, first Ludacris record. And all
Yes,
that.
first Ludacris album. That's another great example of a weird crossover album.
Never heard of it.
Oh, Ludacris is great.
I know the band. I just never heard the album.
Oh, you gotta listen to it. That's a fucking great album.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. The first one, Immaculate Deception's my favorite. Power Trip's okay, but
Yeah,
the
Immaculate
first
Deception is
one's
good,
definitely an essential album.
It's like
Everyone
tight
should have
Cryptic
that.
Slaughter.
You know who else was good that not a lot of people remember that we
Paramox?
glossed over, but not a huge fan of them. Too
Oh, I
much
love
wankery
Paramox.
on the fucking guitar. But no, Lost for Words. They did that album, Pray. That's a fucking great album.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'm at a loss for words, and I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Anything else
I
you guys
think
want to
so.
add?
Just
I don't
go
know. I
buy
can
the
keep
album.
talking about crossover for hours. So yeah, go buy the albums.
Go buy the
Listen
album.
to
Go buy Mr. Bungle. Go buy, what was the other two bands? Terrifier and Hazzard.
Yep. And
Go
if you
buy
live
them.
in Canada, go see them live when your countries open up
In
again.
another 4 years. And we will see you guys next week. Please go check out our website, ratsaladreview.com. Please check out Nate's band, Major M Band, at Major M Band on Twitter. Look up Greg Noggle on Facebook and add him as your friend.
Don't.
Add me as your friend.
Add
Media
the
Write
Group.
down Wayne's address. Send gifts to him. But don't leave a return address. That's
Oh,
weird.
if you do, want to donate to the show and help us pay for some things, you can send it to my PayPal address. There is a link underneath the video or the audio.
Yeah. You go ahead and do that. Send us an album versus album. Send us something to review. It'll put you right to the top of the list.
That's right. We will
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
how you get priority. If you hate our picks, show us what you were missing.
Exactly. Please give us some stuff to do on this show.
You
I'll
want us to
even
listen
talk
to White?
about stuff I hate, even though
You want us to
might not
listen to
like it.
White Lion and Poison? Well, we'll defer to better hair metal bands, but we'll still do something for you.
We'll still do it. We will still do it. Please. I want people to do the job for us. I'm tired of figuring all this shit out. But,
Well, you also want to talk about what they want to hear,
Right.
too.
That's really it, yeah.
and also, too, if you go to our website and buy a T-shirt, you can come on the show, and we let you pick the 2 albums.
Yes.
So,
It's a good
a lot of cool things that we could do.
You buy 50 T-shirts, we'll fly out there and meet you in person.
Don't offer things like that, because that's not happening.
Nobody's buying 50 T-shirts.
You never know. There could be that one guy out there, and he's going to buy all the T-shirts.
Who's got, just this horrible, weird sexual fetish for one of us.
Probably you. I hope for you.
Probably me. I'm young and supple.
Yeah. Oh, God. HAMIN Media Group on YouTube. Please add them and subscribe to their page. We are on there as well, at least for now. And that's it. Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Facebook. Just look up Red Set Review. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Get vaccinated.
Don't get vaccinated. Don't trust the vaccination.
Do what you want. I don't fucking care one way or the other. I don't.
Yeah, actually, if you're dumb enough not to get vaccinated, whatever.
Don't get vaccinated. Bye.
What?